Everything on the top left.
You are her. Amy.
I get the pleasure.
Do what?
I get the pleasure.
Oh, yes.
You get to.
Get it.
Make sure
You get
We feel the same way up here.
right.
it's not here.
She's got it on there. She's got it on there.
No, I mean, sometimes
It got confusing on that Pride.
I don't want to.
No, I appreciate it.
If you get along.
Amy,
Yes, ma'am.
you call to order roll call and establish a quorum for the City of Perkins regular meeting Tuesday, December 12th, 2023 at 6 p.m.
Mayor,
Yes, ma'am.
Vice Mayor. Yes. Sarah Dickerson is absent. Jason
Yes, ma'am.
and Justin.
Yes.
Will you please stand as we pray? Father, we just come to you this evening and we just thank you honestly for the honor and the pleasure of being here tonight and being able to serve the city in the capacity that you have allowed us to do. Father, I pray for a hedge of protection over our city, our police officers, our city staff, and all the families that are represented here tonight. Father, thank you for the relationships that are being born and renewed here in this city and our community. I cannot thank you enough for the progress that we made. In Jesus' precious name, we ask all these things. Amen. Okay, for our Pledge of Allegiance this evening, we have a few guests. You come up and introduce yourself and tell us where you go to school. What's the name of your group? Cimarron Valley 4-H. And what's your name?
Audrey McCaslin.
And what grade are you in?
I'm in sixth.
Sixth grade. What's your name?
Caitlin McCaslin.
I already knew that, but what grade are you in? Mr. Sweeney, what's your name?
Colby Sweeney.
What grade are you in?
Fourth.
Is that another Sweeney? Tell us your name, son.
Cash.
Cash Sweeney? Okay, you guys ready to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Yes.
Okay, you start us off.
Pledge allegiance
To the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, guys, go to your wrestling practice. Hey, get a cookie from Dennis on the way out, okay? Thank you. Send me that picture, Mom.
I will do so. Thank you, guys.
Number 4, consideration and action on consent agenda. Commissioners?
I make a motion to accept the consent agenda.
I'll second.
Mayor,
Yes.
Vice Mayor.
Yes.
Jason
Yes, ma'am.
and Justin.
Yes, ma'am.
Awesome. Number 6, public appearances, petitions, communications, and personal appearances. Under Oklahoma law, the city commission members are prohibited from discussing or taking any action on items that are not on today's agenda. Pass. Number 7, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve memorandum of agreement with the Iowa Tribe of Oklahoma regarding a water tower project with an estimated total cost of $2,292,000.
So this is, I'm sorry,
Go ahead,
this is a really exciting agreement.
tell.
The chairman. Oh,
That's okay.
I didn't know. I'm sorry. I got admonished on what to say, right? I was nervous.
You're nervous?
No. Well, yeah. So anyway, the chairman is here. Vice chairman may be on his way. I don't see Perry.
Treasurer's here.
The treasurer, their attorney Billy Shepard, Angela, Mike Owen with Direct to Completion, and Robert,
Yes.
that works at the tribe with Angela. So this is the money. The tribe's doing a development on the west side of town. They were able to, basically it was all them getting the funding that will allow us to build a water tower and a lift station to serve that development and a much larger area. So it'll benefit the whole, at least west side of Perkins. It'll actually benefit Perkins as a whole. So it's truly, this is a first time deal for the people at the Oklahoma Water Resources Board, because half the money went to the Oklahoma Water Resources Board, and then half the money's coming from the tribe as matching funds. So this 2.2 number represents the tribe's portion, or half, or is this the whole?
No.
What's the estimated?
That's the total.
Yeah, so from the tribe, the matching is 1.146 million on the water project. There's Vice Chairman Perry. Hey. And so Tammy's worked extensively with Billy on this. We've all had a bunch of meetings. Basically, this agreement allows us to move forward, get engineers procured, and start the design phase. And hopefully we're moving dirt May, June, July, something like that. Both projects will be taking part simultaneously pretty much because they both need each other, and it's a huge, huge opportunity.
You want to speak?
I'll just say that, podium, gotcha.
And state your name.
Jacob Keys, Chairman of the Iowa Tribe of Oklahoma. I just want to say that as elected officials, we work a lot to try to benefit our tribal people and our tribe as a whole. What's really special is when we get to do projects where it really impacts the entire community, not just our own tribal people. Our tribal people are part of the community. And so anything we can do when it helps the city of Perkins, the schools, creating better health care for people in Perkins and the surrounding area, we get really excited about being able to do those types of projects. I'll give some props to Billy. He really kind of put in a lot of work with you guys on this paperwork and stuff. Also our health department, the amount of work that they're put on this whole project. So I just kind of want to identify that, but also just thank you guys for working with us. And I know it's a lot, it's a big project, but we're really excited that you guys are willing to kind of work with us and make this happen. So that's really all I want to say. Just thank you, and like I said, we're really excited to be a bigger part of the community. And I can just tell you from the committee that we have in office right now, that's a big focus for us moving forward. So I can't always attest for how the tribe and the city of Perkins has or has not worked together in the past, but for us moving forward, we really want that to be a big part of what we do. We want to be partners with the city. We have a hard time sometimes being partners with our state, so let's be partners with the city, and we'll figure out ways to make Perkins a great place to live, and figure out how we can benefit each other at the same time. So I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you. Thank you.
Thank you.
We're just as excited as Bob. And I compliment the Perkins Family Clinic all the time. They are a fabulous group that you have working there.
If I may,
Yes, ma'am.
I have a short story. So I moved here sight unseen in 2017. It took me 8 days to travel here because I don't drive very well. And when I arrived, I had strep throat. So I'm in a new state I've never seen before. I need to go to the doctor, and I went to the Perkins Clinic. So that was my first engagement with the city of Perkins and with Oklahoma as a whole, and it was a great experience. Since 2017, the tribe is a beautiful place to go, and I'm really excited about this opportunity for us to work together and to develop Perkins and continue to develop it and work in conjunction and celebrate the heritage of the Iowa tribe. So thank you.
Your wellness center's doing great too.
Thank you.
Give us, we know your name.
Yeah,
Give
Angela
us your name
Doherty.
and your title.
Health Director, Iowa Tribe of Oklahoma. I just wanted to talk about the whole project as a whole. Right now, on that 10-acre tract right behind Casey's, which is owned by the tribe, we're going to be putting in about an 8,000 square foot childcare facility, after-school program, and then a 30,000 square foot clinic, and then a 3,500 square foot Department of Justice building that will serve. We're going to be working with the city and the tribal police that any individuals who are at risk of entering the justice system can be referred to that program, and we can have peer recovery support specialists there that can meet that individuals. Hopefully those that go to rehab that come out, then instead of going into the community and using again, we have a facility where they can seek services, and instead of using, they can come here here. We're going to teach life skills, cooking classes, budgeting, different classes for individuals that can help. This is for anyone of all ages that can go to that building. So that's kind of what the building structures are that this water tower and sewer lift station is going to be facilitating the water suppression for those buildings. So it's a big program that we're looking at. We're at about a $20 million budget right now for these buildings. So it's going to be a huge infrastructure development for the city and for the tribe. Yeah, do you have any questions on me about what we're going to be doing over there?
I just need my chin to come back up.
So that's what we're working on. So this water tower and sewer infrastructure is a big portion of this development on this west side of the city. So thank you guys.
Commissioners, you have anything else?
The agenda item before you is the water tower agreement.
Yes.
Next agenda item will be the sewer agreement, lift station agreement. Any questions about this agreement from me? Okay.
Did you write the?
Oh, Billy and I wrote.
You and Billy wrote it?
Mostly,
Okay.
Billy started and I commented, but yes. And
She did.
We had a lot of comments on this.
A lot.
and that's not surprising to you, I'm sure. It is important, though, I think, that you understand that this is a great opportunity and funding of a city infrastructure from two entities besides you. But there is a provision in the agreement that says if monies are needed to complete the project. Now, Bob thinks we have plenty of money, that it's going to be there and they're going to be able to do it. But if additional monies are needed to complete the project, it says additional funds will be requested to the city and the tribe in equal parts. So it's still a possibility, as with any public construction contract that you do, or public construction that you do, that you may be hearing a request for money down the line to help complete something, or some other type of consideration. So I just want to make sure you understand this is a big deal. It's a big project, it's a lot of work, but it's not completely necessarily free. You've already spent some money on this. You spent money on me on this. You've spent money on this, and you may be spending more. So I just wanted to make sure that you understood that.
It does say estimated total cost, so.
Thank you, Tammy. Thank you.
Yes, Timmy. Yes, sir, please. Say who you are and your title.
My name is Billy Shepard. I'm the tribal attorney for the Iowa Tribe. I'm also basically a lifelong Perkins growing up resident, gone through public schools, everything here. So to go along with what Ms. Ewing is saying, there are provisions that talk about the estimated cost. Obviously right now, where we are in the world, everything costs a little bit more. However, hopefully we're at the end of that. We're really crossing our fingers that we're on the downside of that. The great thing is that as we move through the procurement policy and the process, we'll identify and know what this is going to cost prior to construction. So as far as anything coming up at the end, I think we would probably have a very good idea of what that would be before construction even starts, and then any discussion can happen over a long period of time. If the tribe needs to look for more money, other areas that we can find money, I know that's always something we like to do, is spend other people's money, the federal money. So, but there is that possibility, but we would know as the RFPs go through and engineering happens, we would have a better understanding prior to construction of what this is going to cost, and then we can kind of look at where we are with the funding, and then obviously with any project you can have hiccups and surprises, but I think before anything even happens, we would have an idea of where we're at and what possibly each entity might have to look at if there was anything we'd have to look at. So just bringing that up, because sometimes surprises aren't great, but hopefully we would have an idea of everything. So that's all I have. Yeah.
Thank you, Billy, appreciate it.
Along those same lines, I'd like to add that Angela and I are working together In reference to trying to get more money into the project, possibly from the IHS, the Indian Health Service, and I have also met with the Economic Development Administration through the federal government. I met with them today, and there may be an opportunity for money to come from them to go into this project. So right now I feel pretty good about everything. And these numbers are much higher than the tower we built in a few years ago. I'm 33, so 2019 or 20. The numbers are almost double, so we should be. You never know. And this is what we're supposed to do. This is how everything is supposed to work. This is working together for mutual benefit, and it's true partnership for mutual benefit.
Amen. Commissioners, if you don't have anything else to say, I'll make a motion that we approve the memorandum of the agreement with the Iowa Tribe of Oklahoma regarding the water tower project with the estimated cost of $2.292 million to be funded by $46. That's a lot of money in a American Rescue Plan Act funds through the Oklahoma Water Resources Board, and an equal match of $1.146 million matched by the Iowa Tribe of Oklahoma.
I'll second.
Mayor,
Yes.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes, ma'am.
Justin.
Yes, ma'am.
Number 8. Consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve memorandum of agreement with the Iowa Tribe of Oklahoma regarding a lift station project with an estimated total cost of $1.934 million to be funded by $967,000 in American Rescue Plan Act funds through the Oklahoma Water Resources Board, and by $9,067,000 matched by the Iowa Tribe of Oklahoma. Sorry, I was going too fast. Caffeine.
This agreement is basically the same as the agreement before. It's just geared towards the lift station. It was kind of complicated to have them both in the same agreement because they're actually two projects. This will just clean it up.
I think it's great having it separate like that. It really differentiates what, I mean, basically the contract says the same thing, but we're talking about two different projects. Did anyone else want to finish off and say anything?
I can't believe Billy and Tammy are being quiet.
Don't antagonize.
Keep it going.
That's every day.
I take it you've been to some meetings.
On that note,
Yes, thank you.
motion to approve the memorandum of agreement with the Iowa Tribe of Oklahoma regarding a lift station project with an estimated total cost of $1,934,000 to be funded by $967,000 in American Rescue Plan Act funds through the Oklahoma Water Resources Board, and by a $967,000 match by the Iowa Tribe of Oklahoma.
I second it.
I'll let you have it.
Oh, you were? Just like that, you're just gonna let me have it?
I'll let both of you have it. Mayor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor? Yes. Jason?
Yes, ma'am.
Justin.
Yes, ma'am. Mayor, would it be possible to get a picture of you all together, you and the vice mayor at least?
Absolutely.
Why don't we?
Why shouldn't we? This one.
Next.
They're the people that matter.
We coming? We could all do it. We could all participate.
Go team.
You guys want to come down?
You're gonna leave us.
Nice to meet you.
Come on.
Angela, she.
I was really, you have to get in here.
I'm taking the photo, sorry.
It's good to see you.
I'd be happy to take it.
Bob, you should be. No, I think the city manager should be in there too.
Yes.
Yes, yes.
Amy, go ahead. Bob would love to be in
Let
there.
me hide behind him.
They wanna-
Here, stand in the middle, Bob.
I don't need to be in the
Lay
middle.
on the floor.
Thank you.
It's good to see you.
Thank you.
Appreciate you. Absolutely. This is a great deal. Thank you. Thank you.
Nice to say I have you. Thank you for coming.
Hey, Mary. Thank you very much.
Don't get into that for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you. Want to chat?
Okay, thank you very much.
Yep. Thank you.
Nice to see you.
God bless y'all. Thank you for coming.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for having us.
Item agenda number 9. That's where we are, right, Amy? Yes. Okay. Correct. Consideration, discussion, and possible action to accept the 2022-2023 fiscal audit report presented by Ann Cole of Michael Green CPA firm.
So our auditor, Ann Cole, called me yesterday late afternoon. They have run into a hiccup with the administration in their office being able to review what she did and sign off on it. There's no problem with our audit. It's literally with management having time to review it. So she had asked if it was at all possible that we could do this at a later date. We have to turn in certain documents because we have a general obligation bond and those are due like December 27th. So we have put the audit on next week's special meeting, which we don't like to do. We'd like to do it here in front of the camera. But the audit does get published. There's a notice that has to be published and copies are available at City Hall. So if anybody...
Audio.
Yes, and we will have audio that will be on, uploaded the next day. But if any citizens want to come in the meantimes and take a look at the draft, I should have that by Friday. So we will do that at the next meeting, and I'm sorry, this is not.
I saw that email last week after I got here, so appreciate you. So this would be a pass.
This would be a no action.
No action. Number 10, consideration, discussion, and possible action to renew contract with Ewing Law Office, PLLC, for provision of advisory and litigation services to city and city authorities, boards, and commissions as city attorney.
And the only thing that's changed in that contract is the dates, as I recall. So I didn't increase my rates in the last couple of weeks. I've decided that was a mistake, but too late.
Too late?
Yeah, it's too late, trust me. No.
Any questions?
Sometimes Tammy frustrates me, but I highly recommend renewing her contract. She's very thorough. There's a lot of people around me that are very thorough, and sometimes it can stress the person out that's wanting to do things. But
You're always trying to spend all the money.
I know.
You're always trying to set her and Rachel up, I swear.
Yeah.
Not just
No,
her,
she did-
Rachel.
That's true.
She does a very, very, very good job. Very complete.
You don't do that right in the middle of a drink. Commissioners?
I'll make a motion to renew the contract with Ewing Law Office, PLLC, for the provisions of the advisory and litigation services to the city and city authorities, boards, and commissions as the city attorney.
Second?
Mayor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes, ma'am.
Justin?
Yes, ma'am.
Thanks.
Tammy?
Thank you, Tammy.
Thank you.
Number 11, consideration, discussion, and possible action to rescind prior authorization on March 14th, 2023 to utilize American Rescue Plan Act, ARPA funds, in the amount of $12,252 for use as matching funds for the Rural Infrastructure RIG grant awarded to Perkins Public Works Authority for the purchase of an HX 30G vacuum system with trailer or hydrovac from Ditch Witch of Oklahoma at a state contract price of $61,260.
You want me to talk about this?
Yeah, you can, that's fine.
Okay, so when Bob says that Tammy and I can get on his nerves, sometimes it goes the other way. So, if you remember, we had a RIG grant, and then we were gonna put $12,252 worth of ARPA money with the RIG grant to buy this hydrovac. And then we couldn't get the hydrovac, and we need it. So Bob did some research. and talked with rural water, and we can cancel that order and we can buy this other one. And that's gonna be on the Public Works agenda, so hold that thought. But because he also, yay him, got another grant, yay him, $10,000, we now actually don't need the ARPA money at all. So this agenda item, based on what David Floyd said that we need to do, is to rescind the previous decision to spend some ARPA money on this hydrovac. And then when we get to the Public Works agenda, then we can fill you in on all the 47 steps that we have to do to make that happen on that site.
And this, we had another agenda item to, revise that because we had to change this, file a hydrovac, is that correct, from Ditch Witch?
Yeah, didn't we try to get a
We
different?
amended it, we had to amend it.
Yeah, we tried to get a different
size.
one, and then they're unable to deliver, and,
But we
so-
can discuss that in the public, okay. I make a motion and that we rescind the prior authorization that we did on March 14th, 2023, utilizing the ARPA funds in the amount of $12,252 for use as matching funds for the RIG grant awarded to Perkins Public Works Authority for the purchase of a hydrovac from Ditch Witch of Oklahoma at a state contract price of $61,260.
Second.
Mayor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes, ma'am.
And Justin?
Yes, ma'am.
Number 12, consideration, discussion, and possible action to ratify an expense in the amount of $38,760 for the contract with Direct to Completion LLC to provide professional services for the Oklahoma Water Resources Board, American Rescue Plan Act, Water Tower and Sewer Lift Station, utilizing American Rescue Plan Act ARPA funds.
So this one is a little combo.
Okay.
We were working on the agreement back in May, June, and commission approved the agreement with the company, but based on city-approved agreement. It wasn't a final agreement. So you received a draft agreement that had the amount as $38,400. So then, when the agreement was finalized, I did not notice the difference in the two amounts.
Okay.
Eric opened up the purchase order, just like I said, 38.4, and now suddenly we realize we're gonna be $360 short, which goes to the next one, but I wanted to give you the update for that piece of it. It being June and July, I am sorry, but I dropped the ball on then putting an agenda item on the July meeting that said to use ARPA funds for this money. We've been paying ARPA funds for this, and we didn't have an agenda item ahead of time. Called David Floyd the minute that I figured this out when I was working through the agenda, and I said, you know, do we replace the money or do we ratify the expense? And he said he recommends that we ratify the expense in ARPA. So you've got all those several pages that he sent to me last night, where he gives his legal opinion on why we're doing what we're doing and that it's perfectly fine and it's a good use of the money. So it's my oversight that it was not included on the agenda, and for that I am sorry. So that's what we're doing here, is we're ratifying, most of the money has already been spent.
Okay. Commissioners, anyone? Okay. I make a motion to ratify the expense in the amount of $38,760 for the contract with Direct to Completion LLC to provide professional services for the Oklahoma Water Resources Board, American Rescue Plan Act, Water Tower and Sewer Lift Station, utilizing the American Rescue Plan Act, or ARPA funds.
A second.
Mayor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes, ma'am.
Justin?
Yes, ma'am.
Number 13, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve additional $360 payment to Direct to Completion LLC to provide professional services for the Oklahoma Water Resources Board / American Rescue Plan Act, water tower and sewer lift station project.
So as I mentioned, the original agreement said 38.4, that was the number that was on the agenda. And so we've got to then approve now that the $360 be added to that agreement total.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve the additional $360 the $360 payment to Direct to Completion LLC to provide professional services for the Oklahoma Water Resource Board American Rescue Plan Act Water Tower and Sewer Lift Station Project.
Second.
Mayor,
Yes.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes, ma'am.
Justin,
Yes, ma'am.
Consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve purchase order number 2312029 to Direct to Completion LLC in the amount of $360 as described above.
Make a motion to approve purchase order 2312029 to Direct to Completion LLC in the amount of $360.
I'll second.
Mayor,
Yes.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes, ma'am.
Justin,
Yes, ma'am.
Number 15, consideration, discussion, and possible action to authorize fire department to purchase a tanker truck at a cost not to exceed $400,000 utilizing Payne County sales tax funds pursuant to Payne County purchasing guidelines. Thank you, sir.
This is using county money for the fire department to purchase a tanker truck. They have 2 tankers right now. One of them is old and difficult to operate, split transmission, and not a lot of people can drive it. So they're wanting to get something more modern. They have the money in the bank at the county, and they would follow county purchasing guidelines.
Come on, a split transmission?
Yeah.
Everyone knows how to do it, come on.
It's fun.
Yeah, I've driven it. I know, not that one, but I've driven a split.
Young-
Right here.
I never heard of it.
So there's, the money's there, correct?
Yes. And this is just a not to exceed amount. He's hoping it's 300 to 350.
Okay.
It's coming out of the county sales tax funds that are pledged to the fire department. So they'll bid it out, or they may do it off like a state bid or a buy board, whatever county purchasing allows.
And that's their responsibility for the bids?
100%.
And you just need our approval to proceed.
Yep.
Okay.
Fair.
Anybody else?
Make a motion to authorize the fire department to purchase a tanker truck at a cost not to exceed $400,000, utilizing Payne County sales tax funds pursuant to the Payne County purchasing guidelines.
I'll second.
Mayor,
Yes.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes, ma'am.
Justin,
Yes, ma'am.
Number 16, consideration, discussion, and possible action to contract with Mears Engineering to provide professional services regarding drainage system improvements, site assessment, and detention report to assess drainage system problems in the Kinder Wells Section 9 and provide possible solutions in an amount not to exceed $26,000, subject to execution of a contract approved by the city attorney utilizing general fund prior year surplus funds.
This would be using savings, basically, to fund the engineer to figure out what's wrong with the drainage in Kinder Wells 9, which is the area directly behind Williams, we've talked about several times. I don't know if you want to talk about what we're trying to determine the exact cause and solution, which is what this would do. This would allegedly find the cause and solution, but this will not include construction plans to do the solution. This will be like, here's your problem, this is why it's a problem, and this would fix it. And then we would have to, the next step would be to come up with a set of construction plans and then execute whatever that plan is. And then ostensibly, there could be action after that on the developer and or engineer, however that needs to go legally, that I believe or we believe did it incorrectly.
So we're spending some money to investigate and find a solution, or possible solutions. Where, maybe what caused it and where it started type situation.
And why, and then,
And how to fix it.
and how to fix it, and that way we can make our next moves. I mean, we haven't had an issue lately, we haven't had any real rain either. And it's gonna rain a lot again at some point.
Needs to be fixed.
Needs to be fixed. It's a little bit frustrating that we have to go through it this way, but I think in legal terms, it's just the way we have to do it.
We will be coming to you proposing, we hope to be coming to you proposing a way to recover these costs from the developer, the engineer, whatever parties may be involved in creating the situation.
Make a motion to set a contract with Mears Engineering to provide professional services regarding the drainage system improvements, site assessment, and detention report to assess drainage system problems in Kinderwell Section 9 and provide possible solutions in an amount not to exceed $26,000, subject to execution of a contract approved by the city attorney and utilizing the general fund prior year surplus.
Second.
Mayor,
Yes.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes, ma'am.
Justin.
Yes, ma'am.
17, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve budget amendment, general fund administration, engineering firm to assess drainage system problems in Kinderwell Section 9 and provide possible solutions.
This will allow us to pay for it.
Okay.
I make a motion to approve budget amendment, general fund administration, engineering firm to assess drainage system problems in Kinderwell Section 9 and provide possible solutions.
Second.
Mayor,
Yes.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
Jason,
Oh, sorry, yes, ma'am.
Justin.
Yes, ma'am.
Number 18, consideration, discussion, and possible action to adopt the updated City of Perkins Personnel Manual.
I'm gonna let Rachel handle this one.
Oh, I thought you were doing it. Do you want me to go through the more significant changes? Or do you want to ask questions? How would you like for me to proceed? I can do either. Or both.
Can you give highlights?
Oh, you read it?
What?
Give the highlights.
I can give the highlights, absolutely. So I changed out the new mission statement. I put the new mission statement in. I didn't touch core values yet because we're still working on strategic planning. So until those are set in stone, I didn't want to change them and change them again. So when we're finished with core values, then I will update those. There aren't a ton of changes. I think one thing I do want to point out is on page 11, when I was writing my notes, I found a little section that really should be on page 12 in pay periods, so I want to bring that to your attention. On page 11, under overtime pay, there's some information about what should be included on timesheets, and that shouldn't be in overtime pay. That should be on the next page under pay periods. So that part is underlined that says timesheets shall include dates and times that the employee worked and the type of leave and signature and all that. That little piece got moved over to pay periods. Most of what I did was eliminating redundancy, clarifying some wording, trying to edit for consistency, some formatting issues. On pages 27 to 29, I did some cleanup work on sick leave. Tried to give a better definition for sick leave and allow it to be used also for mental health, which I didn't feel like it was really spelled out before, so I wanted to make that very clear. Put a little more information in about when we would require a written certificate from a physician, and basically it's to make sure that the employee isn't rushing their recovery, that they're coming back when they're actually physically ready to do that.
So it allows them to leave for a therapy appointment and not just a doctor appointment?
Which it did before, but it didn't say it.
Didn't say it.
Yeah. Under section C on page 29, administrative leave, we worked to clean up that language so that it really has a definition of what is administrative leave and when is it being used. On page 30, same thing with leave without pay, tried to clean that up. Also, I included that new employees could have 16 hours to use their first 60 days of leave without pay, because doctor's appointments happen or kids have to whatever, and right, they won't have any leave time until after 60 days, but stuff happens. So I thought it would be, it's nice to be able to say, I have 16 hours, I can use this, and not say, I know I just started because I have 2 o'clock off, that type of thing. So we tried to add that in. A lot of what I tried to look at was to enrich our benefits package, to make the city of Perkins an even better place to work, even though we are really a good place to work, to try to compete. Family Medical Leave Act, Tammy helped me with that because I was never happy with what it said before. So thank you, Tammy, for that, because that's a really nice, concise way. We don't have enough employees. We don't qualify to use it. I don't know if that's the right language, but.
Yeah, we're required to provide it if we have enough employees. Well, we're required to provide it. They're only eligible to get it if we have X number of employees, which we don't. So it's a goofy.
But you have to include it.
But, so we had to word it where hopefully that's very clear, that yes, we're required to provide it, but you're not eligible to get it. It's just crazy.
Eligible to use it.
Or to, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Okay, so sorry, pardon me, I lost my place. Pages 46 and 47, worked a little bit on the vehicles section and driver qualifications. We didn't have that in before. I talked with OMAG and got their recommendation on some things that they would like to see us include, which I felt, having someone have to be 18 before they drive a city vehicle is very reasonable. So I went along with what OMAG recommended on that. Appendix, so we're going to jump all the way now to Appendix 15. And it used to be the email, voicemail, computer, and internet acknowledgement form. Now we've added the audio-video surveillance to that because we do have some cameras outside of buildings. We have cameras in City Hall. Nothing has audio capability, or nothing has audio activated at this time, but I thought if we're gonna change the form, let's just change the form once, and that way if there ever is audio, it's already in place. So Tammy, again, provided a lot of assistance with this. Appendix 16, the organizational chart. Well, we're too big to all fit on one page now. So I did like a management type of page, and then I did separate pages for the departments that have multiple employees. Appendix 20, public works overtime. We're paying public works employees overtime instead of comp time now because, again, to make us competitive with other places. And then we added Appendix 23 this year, which is employee referral program. So if an employee recommends a full-time employee and they're hired, they receive $250, is that right? No, $500 the first time. And then if they make it 6 months, they get another $500. And if it's a part-time person, it's $250 and $250. Because that's cheaper than trying to continue to hire people. And then the last thing, this longevity pay policy, we've had our holiday longevity pay in place since Bob became city manager. That was something that he's always felt strongly about, and it's very much appreciated by people. So we formalized that, but in doing a lot of research about recognizing long-term employees, some ideas that had came up were to pay out a portion of sick pay. And based on conversations with our auditor, she said that gets so messy so fast and it's really hard to track. And she actually is the one who said she has dealt with other cities who have done this separation longevity pay. And it really is a thank you to employees who stick around for 5 years or more. It won't break the bank when they resign. And so we just thought it was just another thing to kind of enrich our benefits package and say, look, we do appreciate you, and if you stay for 5 years, get a little something. So that's, those are the biggest changes.
We save money when we stay that long. I said we save money when we stay that long.
We do.
Hiring and changing personnel can get expensive.
It is.
Okay. Good.
I make a motion to adopt the updated City of Perkins Personnel Manual.
A second. Ooh. Is there races?
Mayor,
Yes.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes, ma'am.
Justin.
Yes, ma'am.
Number 19. Consideration, discussion, and possible action to select streetlight configuration for North Main Street.
Well, we've been down the road with OG&E back and forth, and, you know, the commission originally approved decorative street lighting all the way up to McDonald's and Casey's probably 2 years ago, something like that. And then the overhead lines appeared, and we had no idea about that, so there's been a lot of communication issues.
Yeah, it was Memorial Day weekend.
I feel like, where'd you go?
Sorry.
You were talking and you were gone.
Oh, sorry. I was looking at dates that in my head, sorry.
So I think, well, OG&E representatives, Kimberly Adams is our representative. She works on the corporate side of OG&E. She has always tried to be very fair. Unfortunately, she doesn't always know what's going on in the field. So she has worked hard with a lighting guy, Corky, who has been great, to try to figure out what they can do for us and make something palatable. So currently, that's Mr. Moon, I would assume, from a law firm. Yeah. I think everybody was wondering, so. Currently we have $147,568.38 encumbered to purchase 22 30-foot poles with teardrops, just like the ones downtown, and space them. They'd be alternating, like they do downtown, with the exception on the very north end. There's 2 on the same side of the block, so one of them will get moved so we can start the alternating again, going all the way up. The problem is, now that the overhead line's been put in, there was no communication between that side of OG&E and the lighting side, so now they can't put a 30-foot light pole because it'll be in their overhead lines. So option 1 would be to do 15 30-foot poles, just like downtown, 12, the way I understand it, 12 up the east side, so from up to McDonald's, basically. And then 3 on the west side, kind of, you know, on the curve. And then there'd be 2 and 3 basically in front of Casey's. And then when you get into the wood poles where the overhead is, take the decorative arm that's on the rest of the lights and attach it to the wood poles. That is $128,205. Then, as the west side develops, OG&E gets credits and they are able to invest the money in putting the overhead underground. So I don't know what that time frame is. As we get businesses and consumers of electricity on the west side, could be a year, probably not. It's going to be more like 5 or something, 6, I don't know. But so that's how it would be until then. And then we would pay the extra, basically the difference between the $147,568 and the $128,205, to have the decorative poles put in when they put the other stuff underground. Option 2 is to do the same thing, with the exception of, instead of putting arms on the wood poles, is to put 14-foot light poles that is basically the bottom section of the 30-foot. So it's going to look the same. They're going to be shorter. The ones on the, along where the high line is, the east side of the street's going to have lights that are twice as tall as the west side, but they'll be decorative. They have the same base. We could do basically any light cover we want to do. The one I put in my report is the Bristol, which is like what we have in the plaza. And then, so all the infrastructure would be done when they do put their stuff underground. They just come in and put the second section and the top on those 14-foot and turn it into 30-footers. And everything would be lined up. If you look at the poles, the wood poles that are there, if you stand there, they're not even in a straight line. They're like this. So initially I thought when I initially heard this, I thought attach the arms to the wood poles. I talked to everybody in City Hall. I've talked to several other people, and I think going with the 14-footers would be the better option. And then we also know the bases are in, everything's in. There shouldn't be any other hiccups until the line comes down. That is sort of in writing, where it says city required to pay more once overhead converts to underground. They're planning on that. The third option is for us to pay to convert it to underground. I didn't feel like we needed to even address that, because if there would have been communication at the beginning, we wouldn't be sitting here. But I do think we need lights, and the decorative lights will add a lot. So it's a little cheaper now. All the poles, the 22 30-foot poles are they're at the yard, wherever they keep their light poles. They're there.
They're in.
And they would basically just keep the other halves of them until we get that converted to underground as that side of the road develops.
I have 2 questions.
Please.
Have we done everything we possibly can to get OG&E to put these lines underground?
I believe I have done everything I possibly can.
Tammy, have we done everything that we possibly can?
I haven't been involved in this.
Because they came in, they installed poles on a holiday weekend, and then they were not communicative to you at all about it.
Correct.
And then they are communicating with us, but they're saying, well, whenever you develop this, then we will be incentivized to come in here and do them underground. Our entire city is on OG&E power. My power bill is OG&E. So I'm not.
It's the franchise agreement that we have with them that was approved by the voters that gives them the right to come in and do things. It's, in my opinion, poor business practice to know it's being designed, know it's going to be installed. The reason all that was brought in was we're growing, so they needed to put another circuit into Perkins. They needed more power to run Perkins. And what I got from, and I have met with a lot of people from OG&E.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people that go up the chain. And the overhead, at the end of the day, it's all about money.
It's cheaper.
100% about money, 100% about, they seem to mention paying their shareholders a lot more than, in my opinion, than they do about the customers sometimes. But it had to do with making the project cheaper. So they put some overhead on Lover's Lane, and I had to move that because it was in the ditch where we need water to flow. One of them still is, partially. And then they put this overhead because it would be cheaper. Backing up, I tried to have this conversation with them when Casey's was coming in about running power up that side of the road underground to serve Casey's, and nobody wanted to visit about it because they wanted to take power from the north side of 33. So they're going to do whatever's cheapest and get the best bang for their buck, and to our detriment in this case. But I think they very much understand that we're paying attention and not happy, and they know, they being the uppers, know who we are. because there's been a lot of back and forth.
My concern is it's very inconvenient for us to have to make this decision when it's what they do. What they do is they install overhead lines and they install underground lines. That's what they do. And they decided to come in because they needed a new circuit on a holiday weekend, which just looks shady, without stopping by or writing an email or giving a heads up or anything like that. You have done everything that you can do, and now we're in a position to give our citizens half of what they want, which is they want these lights. I've heard from residents that they want these lights. Where are the lights? What's the deal with the lights? It would look so good, you know, and we can't do the decorative holiday stuff on these lights because of decisions that were made previously. I don't know that that the commission has walked this walk with you on everything that we can do with OG&E to say no, we're not going to wait for you to get your credits to do these underground lines. You need to come in and you need to fix Loverless Lane and you need to fix this because you are our only option, but we understand that, and I don't know if we have any footing with that legally.
Well, I can tell you when it happened. I come around the corner at Casey's on the motorcycle, my husband and I on our motorcycles, and I was like, what the what? I turned around. Dennis goes, oh, we're back in town. I took pictures. I sent them immediately to Bob, and he had no clue what was going on. I go down Lover's Lane, and they have all of these poles in our drainage, and we had just paid to have the drainage fixed. As a school teacher, I'm not happy with, now Bob, I'm saying stuff that Bob already knows because I've already voiced my opinion to him about all these things almost daily when they were working, because they just flat out didn't ask anyone anywhere within the city about any schedules. They're right smack dab in the middle of Kirk Street when school lets out, with blocking the road, kids coming across. They're at a sidewalk where kids have to cross. I literally stopped my Jeep and made sure kids got through their construction. I feel like Bob has been on the phone with them for months and months and weeks and months to no avail. Not your fault. I'm very disappointed in this company. And yes, we seem to be at their, whatever they want to do. And,
Well, we live in a state where there's no competition
right.
in the electric industry.
I'm like Vice Mayor Ravello, my community, my friends, my group, they're like, where are these lights? All right, Mayor, where are the lights? You keep telling us about these lights. Where are the lights? Goods and services take a long time to get here, but that's not just always totally been the case in this situation. It's been, our hands have been tied, and we don't like it.
Because had our lights been up, not saying that we had that plan, but to OG&E, had those lights already been up, they would have been forced to put underground lights there or to relocate those poles, those overhead poles, somewhere else. So they're taking advantage of our infrastructure. So do we have any legal footing
Because
to do anything at all?
That buy down was voted on by us, transferred that money over from PIDA. That was done by us before, like she said, a holiday weekend when they come in and just do whatever they want. Those guys probably got time and a half for doing that on a holiday weekend.
Or double.
Yeah.
No, they're in ODOT's right away. On 30, on Main. On Main. On Main, the lights are in ODOT's right away. On Lover's Lane, they'd be an hour easement.
Our utility,
Yeah.
our utilities.
Yeah, we have a franchise agreement that spells all that out, that was voted on by the voters.
Yeah, I need to.
Which is kind of weird because you can't, if you vote no, I mean, what do you get, no electric?
Right.
Because you can't call it another.
Bob had them move.
Yeah, you do.
Huh?
Yeah, you do.
He had them
Well, we
move
have
all those
GRDA,
poles,
don't we?
except for one. They moved all of them but one on Lover's Lane that he asked them to move.
If you want to table this, I can look at it. I don't know. I have not looked at it. I haven't looked at the franchise agreement. I think if you don't table it and you pick an option, that would be laying the groundwork for them to provide us with a contract, because, I mean, they're saying city required to pay more once overhead converts to underground. What does that mean? You know, what's the agreement look like, you know, as far as,
So so what if we pick option number, I guess it would be 3, where we have 30-foot poles?
We're paying more for them to move it.
No, not for the move, well, so option number 4, which is not shown, which is we would want the 30-foot poles on both sides of the road, whether we offset them or not, plus we want an agreement with OG&E on moving it to be underground. Can we do that to get the ball rolling?
Isn't the other issue that you said that their poles were too close to the road and then we couldn't get the breakaway?
Yeah, there's a distance requirement for ODOT, and I think that was finally remedied. But then there's a distance that you have to be away from the overhead lines, or and when the overhead lines are going to hit the lights, and that's the problem.
That's the hiccup with us. Yeah, that's why we can't have the 30-foot on both sides.
And you spent time with ODOT as well on different options, correct?
Yeah, there's been numerous
All kinds of talk about
emails and
things.
meetings, yeah. But to answer your question, you could table it or take no action, or I guess you could take whatever action you wanted to take, like you're stating, and then I can carry that back to OG&E.
I mean,
I don't know that it's gonna matter, because I've yelled pretty loud,
I know you have.
and it's about money. It may. I mean, it's not worth.
I mean,
I'm not saying it's not worth a shot, but it is definitely not a priority.
well, it's not the city's fault that their two entities didn't communicate.
That's true.
It's not this, and the city's the one that's paying. We're facing this brunt of this decision because their two entities, oh, my bad, sorry, we didn't communicate. Well, our money was already allocated on that buy down for these lights before those poles and electrical stuff came through.
Just a moment. We don't have an agreement.
I'm getting a little fired up.
Getting fired. I don't want to spend money on half of a project when we can do it right the first time.
I want them to fix what they did, and where none of it has to come out of our pocket.
There's no way we should have to pay this
No,
on top of that.
no. That's what they're doing. That's their whole
Corporation
unit.
Commission, and the Corporation Commission works basically for them.
Are you familiar with the contract, and have you read the contract and gone over that with OG&E? The franchise agreement, is there, do we have any rights? Are you comfortable commenting on that?
I don't believe we have any, I mean, not very many, because the problem is, in my estimation, and I'm not an attorney, but if you say, well, we don't want OG&E, you can't get CREC to come in here because of the way they design everything.
And OG&E takes its infrastructure. That's-
yeah, I'm not.
We had the option to possibly buy it out, to buy OG&E out and pay for, and start our own electric.
Yes.
That means buying every pole, every foot of wire, every insulator, every meter, I mean, it was huge.
No, but sometimes franchise agreements have provisions about what happens if they're in our right of way and we need to be in our right of way, right? Or if they're, you know, there are those type of provisions that could come into play here that we might be able to hold them to if they've done something within our right of way, if they're in ODOT's right of way. I'm really not sure that we had, I don't know. I'd have to look at this. But I think most cities these days are looking at writing better franchise agreements than they used to write. Unfortunately, this one isn't old enough to be written anytime soon.
20 years.
So, so
I'm just not coming from a position where I can understand the power dynamic here, but I'm not thinking that OG&E does bad business. I don't. So just because they have the authority doesn't mean that they wouldn't work with us. And I know that Bob has done everything that he could possibly do to get them to work with us or work with them. But if we come at them perhaps in support of everything that he has done, and we look at what our rights are and what we can do, perhaps we could come to an agreement with OG&E to move these lines. Because OG&E encumbering the cost of $200,000 is a drop in the bucket for them. So I would prefer to make a case that we discuss how these lines came about and look at
The timing?
and look at our agreements and what we can do before we settle, because the OG&E has made rules for us.
well, and maybe a way you can approach it is to say, provide us your draft agreements, OG&E, provide the draft agreement, let's look at it. And then we can take it from there.
I think it'd be a great idea for Tammy to do that.
I bet. Yeah. I think you've done everything you possibly can at this point. I
I
really
mean,
do.
I think asking questions, I don't think there's anything wrong with, we've waited this long. I don't think there's anything wrong with waiting a little bit longer and just coming at a different direction, a different person, and asking questions, whether they're the same questions or not. But this just doesn't feel right, and it just doesn't sit right in my gut.
Could we make a motion to draft a letter from the city commission to the chairman or CEO or whatever he or she is of OG&E?
Let's look at how do we work the agenda item, select streetlight configuration. They don't need to make a motion, but
Direct staff?
they don't even need to direct.
I'm with Bob. I think that Tammy needs to put her name down on some things here too, a letter to OG&E. Just saying.
You know, I'm saying, I'm glad to do that, but I don't know that I need you to have because the agenda item isn't really there. I think if you table this to another,
Okay.
either table or I would say, or just continue it. I would continue it. The difference?
Was there any money already given to OG&E for the buy down of the lights? Have
No.
they already received any money at all?
No.
So on our books, it just shows that it's allocated for that.
Yes.
That our order was placed,
Yes.
because the materials are already in.
Yes.
So there's a date on there that shows when we placed that order. And then what we
We'll have that, yeah.
and then what we wanted to have done with those lights that we were ordering. It's gonna look on camera like I'm.
I know the fly. Yeah, I think if you want to table it, I can look at it and I can write a letter and we can get involved. There may be an argument and that they had an agreement and we can hold them to it. I don't know, but that's certainly something that we can look at.
'Cause I appreciate everything that you've done up until
Oh, I
this
know.
point, and then creating these options as well. It's
Yeah,
just
you've done the
it's
work.
not prudent to use funds, in my opinion, it's not prudent to settle and use these funds in this way when we can support you in your efforts and get the right thing done, which is what you've been trying to do.
No, I appreciate it very much. I'm not offended in the least. I have been over this for 2 years ad nauseum.
Yes, I'm offended for you
Me too.
at all of this. So we just,
Make a motion that we table this after consulting city attorney on the next step.
Why don't you make a motion to continue it?
I
Okay.
make a motion to continue the selection of,
I'm sorry, excuse me, I'm so sorry.
sorry,
Continue this particular agenda item? Because it doesn't cover maybe what we want to do.
I can continue and I can direct staff to use it to somebody I can.
Exactly the same agenda.
It does, but we don't have to, they can pass on it next time we choose something different.
Okay, I just wanted to be sure we weren't roped into the same. So I did turn them down.
I think you can.
Because if you continue it, then you're still stuck on that. Wording, aren't you?
No, I feel better to continue it than to take no action.
Okay,
What am I doing?
continue till you.
Sorry.
Continue until I have more options?
Yes, could you continue continuing, please?
I'm going to continue the continuation of selection of streetlight configuration for North Main Street, as we will discuss other options.
I'll second.
She's happy. She looks happy.
Very confident.
Mayor,
Yes.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes.
Justin.
Yes, ma'am.
Good fight, Sarah.
Well, we're gonna get them.
Timmy, before, do I need to make a motion to enter executive session and then take a break, or do we take a break and then go into executive session?
I think you can go ahead and make the motion so we could, when you come back.
Just convene
Yeah.
in executive session. Number 20, motion to enter executive session pursuant to 25.0.S.307B.4 to discuss the city's claims and possible litigation against Ferguson Enterprises Incorporated, Mueller Systems LLC, and any other responsible party regarding the city's automated meter reading system.
Did you make the motion? Did you just read the agenda item?
I'm sorry.
You made the motion.
I just read it.
Did I read it wrong?
Oh, did you read it or did you make a motion?
I said, oh, it's a motion.
It is a motion.
Okay. So I second.
Mayor,
Yes.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes, ma'am.
Justin.
Yes, ma'am.
It's cookie time.
Sorry, I read too
Right? Is there
fast.
something sweet to eat?
I have to renew the card to get your executive session cookies.
Ah, there you
Okay.
go. I was wondering.
There's brownies at the back.
There's
Eric,
14,000 cookies right here.
Eric,
Hey, thank you for coming.
Is it off? Is it off?
item number 21, motion to exit executive session and reconvene in open session.
I'll second.
No, somebody should make the motion.
Yeah.
I make a motion to exit executive session and reconvene in open session.
I'll second it.
Mayor,
Yes.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes, ma'am.
Justin.
Yes, ma'am.
Item agenda number 22, consideration, discussion, and possible action as a result of the executive session regarding the city's claims and possible litigation against Ferguson Enterprises Incorporated, Mueller Systems LLC, and any other responsible party regarding the city's automated meter reading system.
I make a motion to authorize Collins, Zorin, and Wagner to file litigation against Ferguson Enterprises Incorporated, Mueller Systems LLC, and any other responsible party regarding the city's automated meter reading system.
I second it.
Can you do that again?
I make a motion to authorize,
I'll write it out for her.
I have it written too.
Okay, are we, you want to hear it again?
Yes, if you don't mind.
I make a motion to authorize Collins, Zorin, and Wagner, that's Z-O-R-E-N, to file litigation against Ferguson Enterprises. What?
Z-O-R-N.
Z-O-R-N.
What did I say?
Z-O-R-N.
You said
Just
so.
added an E, you're fine.
Zorin.
Sorry.
Keep going.
Okay. I make a motion to authorize Collins, Zorin, and Wagner to file litigation against Ferguson Enterprises Incorporated, Mueller Systems LLC, and any other responsible party regarding the city's automated meter reading system.
I second
Won't spell
it.
anything this time. My apologies, Mr. Zorin.
Mayor,
Yes.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes, ma'am.
Justin.
Yes, ma'am.
Item agenda 23, new business. Under the Open Meeting Act, this agenda item is authorized only for matters not known about or which could not have been reasonably foreseen prior to the time of posting the agenda or any revised agenda. Moving right along. At agenda 24, I make a motion that we adjourn the Perkins regular meeting, December 12th.
I second.
Just to make sure we'll be in touch in the next couple of
Was it- There was a second. It was me.
Thank you. Mayor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes, ma'am. I need your Red Bull too.
You ready, Amy?
That's me.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Drive safe. Yeah, you are.
I told him.
He's a friend now.
You ready,
He's joined
Amy?
the dark
Take
side.
more than one.
Executive session, you're in there.
Slippery
Yes.
slope.
Bye.
Amy, could you,
It's not slippery. Only had
call
4.
to order, roll call, and establish a quorum for the Perkins Public Works Authority regular meeting Tuesday, December 12th, 2023 at 8:25 PM.
Okay, Mayor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Sarah Dickerson is absent. Jason?
Yes, ma'am.
And Justin?
Yes, ma'am.
Number 2, consideration and action on consent agenda.
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda.
Second.
Good job.
So you got your mouth full.
I'm just
I do.
picturing Cookie Monster right now. Sesame Street.
It's so past dinner.
Mayor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes. I was gonna say supper.
I thought you were saying so.
Item agenda number 4, public appearances, petitions, communications, and personal appearances. Under Oklahoma law, Perkins Public Works Authority board members are prohibited from discussing or taking any action on items not on today's agenda. Pass. Moving forward. Number 5, consideration, discussion, and possible action regarding the PPWA's claims and possible litigation against Ferguson Enterprises Incorporated, Mueller Systems LLC, and any other responsible party regarding the city's automated meter reading system.
Say it again.
I think you could make the same motion.
I make a motion to authorize Collins, Zorin, and Wagner to file litigation against Ferguson Enterprises Incorporated, Mueller Systems LLC, and any other responsible party regarding the city's automated meter reading system.
I'll second it.
Mayor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes, ma'am.
Justin?
Yes, ma'am.
Number 6, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve Resolution 28-2023, a resolution increasing the fees charged for water and sewer taps for the city of Perkins, Oklahoma.
Amy's actually the one that put this together. We needed, the original resolution had a 3/4 inch meter and a 2-inch meter or something. And we needed more, well, I wanted to correct the 3/4 to 5/8 and then have the 1, 2, 3, and 4-inch meters in the resolution. And so we did that, and we came up with a way to do it that I think is fair and equitable, that doesn't cost the city money to do it.
Okay.
That's all that changed in that resolution.
Okay. Commissioners, anyone have anything to say?
I make a motion to approve Resolution 28-2023, a resolution increasing the fees charged for water and sewer taps for the city of Perkins, Oklahoma.
Mayor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes, ma'am.
Justin?
Yes, ma'am.
Number 7, consideration, discussion, and possible action to contract with environmental management for services to remove and transport sewer sludge to northern Oklahoma disposal at a cost not to exceed $97,850, subject to execution of a contract approved by the city attorney utilizing Public Works prior year surplus funds.
So this goes to the operation of the plant. There's sludge that needs to be removed in the digesters. It's very thick because the There hasn't been sludge removed from the plant based on all the other stuff we've talked about, and the sewer screen, and then the belt press went down. So the sludge is to a point it's too thick to be moved by our pumps. So we need to remove some of that sludge so we can water down the rest and start moving it with our pumps. Now this quote is to remove all of the sludge out of both digesters, which I don't think will be necessary at this point. I think it'll probably, if we remove the sludge from one of the digesters, we can transfer by gravity between the two and then be able to water it down. So while I'm asking approval for the total amount, I don't expect that to necessarily be needed, but I don't want to be in a position where if we need to use some more, like if we only approved half and I need a little bit more, to have to wait, because they're going to be here with trucks, and we have the Northern Oklahoma Disposal that's operated by Davis Sanitation is licensed by DEQ to take liquid sludge. They have a drying bed and a process they go through that's approved by DEQ. Paperwork's been submitted to DEQ and approved. I'll have that documentation in hand tomorrow from Davis Sanitation. This basically will allow us to get going. It is using prior year surplus, AKA savings money. It's money that's not in the budget. So depending on what we spend, we can ride it out for a while, and then at some point Rachel will do a budget amendment based on what we spend, you know, and where we're at in the budget too. But there's money there to pay for it now.
And they have substantial insurance in case something goes awry.
Yes, they have. Well, that'll all be subject to the agreement that'll be approved by the city attorney, but they're a fairly large company. If you drive on 33 between here and Guthrie, there's a curve and there's a white complex of buildings that says environmental management. That's it. Okay. And the gentleman that owns it is Terry Bobo, who actually lives south of town. So they're a professionally licensed company that I'm okay with. So
How is it operational now with the sludge? Is it?
it's operational. It's not within specs. So, and that's what the meetings with DEQ. Basically, you separate the two, and then the sludge gets wasted or moved over to an active, they call it the waste activation chamber, or WAS, waste activated sludge. And the bacteria eats on the sludge, and then it goes to the two digesters, and then it goes to the belt press. So what's been happening essentially is we're moving it, and then we're moving it, and then it's not leaving. We need it to leave every week, or you start getting a backup, you know, of sludge. So this is the largest issue to getting the plant back into compliance, because sludge carries bacteria, and you're never going to get lower bacteria until you get sludge out like it should be. And the belt press is totally fixed. The screen is here. We received it today, but we can't put it in until January because they're coming down from Canada. So, but we're working that way, and this is.
So,
Well, there are two things tonight that we are using surplus funds for.
Yep.
So thank you, Rachel and City Hall, for fiscally responsible.
Yeah, because and this is a good time to point out.
Still killing her.
When Rachel got here, there wasn't a surplus.
I know.
So.
Good
Put
job,
that on a
Rachel.
sticky note.
I totally.
Well, and me, but she's the one that yells at me and won't let me do something.
She's the one that keeps you in
So
check.
that we can do things, Bob.
Now you sound like her.
Thank you all.
So I make a motion, is that where we're at? Okay, to contract with environmental management for services to remove and transport sewer sludge to Northern Oklahoma Disposal at a cost not to exceed $97,850, subject to execution of a contract approved by the city attorney utilizing Public Works prior year surplus funds.
I'll second.
I think you're gonna take a breath.
Don't need to.
Mayor,
Yes.
Vice Mayor,
Yes.
Jason,
Yes, ma'am.
Justin.
Yes, ma'am.
I want to go on a tour with you sometime, Bob.
Come on.
Okay? Would you mind?
Nope, not at all.
I'll wear my
Would be-
grungy clothes.
That would be interesting.
I'd love it.
Number 8, you took me out there once, I just would like to see more detail. Number 8, consideration, discussion, and possible action to rescind March 14th, 2023 approval of the purchase of a HX30G vacuum system with trailer or a hydrovac at a state contract price of $61,260 from Ditch Witch of Oklahoma due to the inability to receive the equipment in a timely manner.
So this is, now we're shifting out of the ARPA spending that we talked about, and we're talking about really the grant and all that side of the process. So this is gonna rescind that we decided we were gonna get this grant money and use it for this thing, and we're gonna do the purchase that way. So that's taking that away, and then I'll talk about the next steps.
Okay. Any commissioners? I just thank you, Bob, for doing that. You probably got tired of me asking about it. Okay, I make a motion that we rescind the March 14th, 2023 approval of the purchase of the HX30G vacuum system with trailer at a state contract price of $61,260 from Ditch Witch of Oklahoma due to the inability to receive the equipment in a timely manner.
I'll second. Mayor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor? Yes. Jason?
Yes.
Jason?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, number 9, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve submission of change order to the Oklahoma Rural Water Association Rural Infrastructure Grant, the RIG grant, awarded March 2023 in the amount of $49,008 to replace purchase of a Ditch Witch vacuum system with trailer at a state contract cost of $61,260 with purchase from Vermeer Great Plains of an EO 14127 vacuum system with trailer at a state contract cost of $60,250.
I spoke with Kelly Brown at Oklahoma Rural Water Association after Bob had already gotten the permission that we could buy a different piece of equipment. The way we need to do this is to submit a change order. The change order is an online form, so I didn't have anything to print out to show you. So this is how we do it, is we say, okay, we're gonna change orders. That's why I included the original grant agreement in your packet, so you'd see what we did before. But we'll be submitting a change order that says we're gonna buy this other thing instead. Perfectly fine with them. And then encompassed in this is also the acknowledgement that you know that now we're gonna spend this money through Vermeer. So that's what's in that agenda item.
Love it. Anybody? Okay.
I make a motion to approve submission of change order to Oklahoma Rural Water Association Rural Infrastructure Grant awarded March 2023 in the amount of $49,008 to replace purchase of a Ditch Witch vacuum system with trailer at a state contract cost of $61,260 with purchase from Vermeer Great Plains of an EO 14127 vacuum system with trailer at a state contract cost of $60,250.
A second?
Mayor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor? Yes. Jason?
Yes, ma'am.
Justin?
Yes, ma'am.
Number 10, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve purchase order number 2311038 to Vermeer Great Plains for the purchase of an EO 14127 vacuum system with trailer at a state contract cost of $60,250, $49,008 funded by the ORWA RIG grant, $10,000 funded by the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group, or OMAG, sanitary sewer equipment grant at $1,242 funded by water capital outlay funds.
And so this purchase order then shows you where all the money's coming from, and there's also the inclusion in your packet of the email from OMAG saying that, yes, we've received the matching grant up to $10,000, because Bob found that. So that's what that one does.
Thank you.
You found money.
I did.
Instead of spending it.
I may call you to reiterate that at some point.
You should have
I
recorded
never
it so
said
you
that. I don't
could
care if
answer
you have a
Rachel.
recording and video.
Vice Mayor said. Man, I really appreciate you going out and taking care of this, Bob. I know we've talked about it a couple of times, but I know I read it somewhere. When does Vermeer think it will be here?
It's here. I mean, it's not here, but they have it. It's,
It's in the States.
you can actually look at it,
It's
touch it.
nearby. Let's go
Touch
get
a
it.
truck.
Huh?
Touch a truck.
Yep. Hopefully it'll be here tomorrow or Thursday or Friday.
They deliver it? Okay.
Yep.
That's only.
Let's go take a picture.
They'll deliver it and go through the a little class with the public works
I can
staff.
hitch them a pickup. We'll go pick it up if we need.
Yeah, yeah.
I would advise against that.
I make a motion to approve purchase order number 2311038 to Vermeer Great Plains for the purchase of an EO 14127 vacuum system with trailer at a state contract cost of $60,250 with $49,008 funded by the ORWA RIG grant, $10,000 funded by the Oklahoma Municipal Assurance Group Sanitary Sewer Equipment Grant, and $1,242 funded by Water Capital Outlay Funds.
A second.
Mayor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor? Yes. Jason?
Ma'am.
Justin?
Yes, ma'am.
I practiced reading at home. That's it. Number 11, consideration, discussion, and possible action to approve budget amendment for Public Works Water ORWA RIG grant and OMAG Sanitary Sewer Equipment Grant for purchase of hydrovac. That's just moving money.
I make a motion.
I'm sorry, I zoned out for a minute. Yes, so this budget amendment will make the budget match where all the money's actually coming from now.
Are we good? I make a motion to approve budget amendment for Public Works Water ORWA RIG grant and OMAG Sanitary Sewer Equipment Grant for the purchase of the hydrovac.
Second.
Go ahead, thank you.
Mayor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor? Yes. Jason?
Yes, ma'am.
Justin?
Yes, ma'am.
Number 12, new business. Under the Open Meeting Act, this agenda item is authorized only for matters not known about or which could not have been reasonably foreseen prior to the time of posting the agenda or any revised agenda. 13, I make a motion that we adjourn the Perkins Public Works Authority regular meeting Tuesday, December 12th, 2023.
A second.
Mayor?
Yes.
Vice Mayor?
Yes.
Jason? Justin?
Yes, ma'am.
Great work, guys.
Yes.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.
Appreciate you.
Nope. Appreciate you.
Always take it.